Today, we are exploring one of the deepest mystery and the greatest battles we face, the ego versus the soul. Welcome to the Detachment Circle, where we dive deeper into mindfulness, detachment, and the spiritual wisdom to help you live with clarity and peace. My name is Siddharth, your guide in this journey to self realization. We have two inner voices. One seeks control, validation, and comfort, and the other seeks truth, freedom, and peace. One is ego, our constructed identity, and the other is our soul, also known as the Atman, as per the Vedas. Atman, the eternal pure consciousness, which is a reflection of the Paramatma or the Brahman, the source, the beginning, the one consciousness. You can name it anything, but the truth is, your Atman is a reflection of the pure consciousness. The ego screams for attention, and the soul whispers for liberation. So, in this episode, we will explore how to identify these voices, how to recognize them. We understand why we suffer when we confuse them, and also discover how to transcend our ego and be one with the source, with the Brahman, with the pure consciousness. Let's try to understand what is ego and how it rules our life. Ego is a constructed identity. Anything which you think you are is ego. It is every label which you wear so proudly and carry it like a burden. Your name, your status, your achievements, your personality traits, your behavior, your trauma, your pain, your success, your beliefs, your community, your race, your religion, everything you think you are is ego. And this ego loves validation, it loves control, and it wants you to feel separate. It defines itself with what you own or lack. It is constantly comparing you or competing with others. Ego's primary job is to protect you. You created this identity so that you get a sense of belonging, so that you can stay safe, or you wanted to survive. And ego is nothing but you have built because of your survival mechanism. And its intentions are not bad. It wants to protect you. But the methods are not. That's why we say ego is fragile, because it is an illusion. It is an illusion which you have created for yourself, and it is convincing you that you are that. You are that ego. You are unable to separate yourself from people or beliefs. You get attached. You make them a part of your identity. You are inseparable. You and your job. Oh, I am this job title. If you say I am a manager, then you cannot separate that profession, your job, from your own self. And if somebody says, I don't like your style, I don't like your managerial style, since I and that title manager are not separate, instead of hearing that they don't like my managerial style or leadership style, I will hear they don't like me because I cannot separate myself from that job. So ego rules you. You are not your job. You are not your name or the community or the race or the religion. This was all given to you when you took birth. When you took birth, you were not separate. You were a blank slate. And then you were given a name, a religion, beliefs. This all was fed to you. It was given to you. You did not came with it. It was given to you through family, through schools, through relatives, through social media, to society. They kept giving you these beliefs about your own self. And now look at you. How many labels do you wear? The name, the job title, the caste, the creed, the race. I am this personality. I am an introvert. I am an empath. I am a spiritual person. I am this, I am that. All of these labels, these illusions, these false identities have become a cause of your suffering. All these false identities. And now we are stuck. We can't let them go because they are so ingrained in your system. It is not just a belief, it is something which you have embodied it. If somebody puts a label that I am an introvert, their entire being becomes that word. They are unable to break free from it. Or your trauma. Why people go into victim mindset? This is all false identities. Identities which you created because you had to survive. So ego is not bad. The intentions are good, but the methods are not. Ego's greatest trick is to make you believe that its wounds are yours to carry. You get hurt because somebody blames your community or your personality traits, and you get so affected by it, taking everything so personally because you have attached yourself in thousands of things. And now all of these 1,000 things are nothing but the chains. It is stopping you. They are stopping you from breaking free. And now is the time to let go of it. Letting go with love. Letting go of these false identities, false safety. If you often get triggered, defensive, insecure, or you need constant validation, ego's job is to defend. It needs constant reassurance. It lives in insecurity because it is false. It needs constant drama, constant reassurance so that it can stay relevant. Now ask yourself, think of a recent conflict and see what were you trying to do in that fight or in that conflict. Were you defending? Were you trying to prove a point? Or you were arguing to find truth? If you can find that voice, you find your ego. Think about it. Reflect upon it. Write it. Let's move on to our next segment. Let's try to understand Atman. Let's try to understand the soul. We often say soul. And this word has been used in multiple ways, different ways. Oh, he's a poor soul. Oh, he's a good soul. He's a pure soul. Now we are putting labels on something which is beyond all of these labels. So I would definitely say that this word has been misused. But let's talk about the word before this word. The OG word for this. So as per the Vedas, it is known as the Atman, a reflection of eternal, pure consciousness. The Brahman, the source, existence, consciousness, bliss. Or in other words, as per Sanskrit, Sat Chit Anand. That is the essence of your Atma. Existence, consciousness, and bliss. It is at a blissful state, which is not happy. Happiness is an emotion. Blissfulness is a state of being. Again, in Sanskrit, it is called a beautiful word, and no other word can do justice to it. The state of Anand. Anand is a blissful state, neither happy nor sad. It is a blissful state. And that is the essence of your Atma, which is the reflection of the source. So we have the reflection of the source within us, in each of us, in every thing, in every being. It is all a reflection of that consciousness. So let's talk about this Atman. Atman is not emotional. It is not sentimental. It does not carry memories or traumas or pains or desire or need. It is pure awareness, the unchanging witness of your life. In Vedanta, there is no goal of finding the Atman. Your goal is not to heal the Atman, but it is to realize that you are the Atman. You are a soul. So the personality, the story, the narrative, the identity, the pain is ego. and the Atma is the pure observer within. So, Atman is not something you have, it is something you are. Beyond all of the labels, beyond your identity, beyond your thoughts, beyond your emotions, beyond this body, there is a consciousness, which are not my thoughts, just not my body. If we strip down everything, you and me, we are so different. Your name is different, mine is different. Your body is different, mine is different. Our experiences are different. Our thoughts are different. Our emotions are different. If we remove all of that, then you are a consciousness and I am a consciousness. We are all part of this one consciousness, this reflected consciousness. The one consciousness appearing as many. You might think that we are separate, but we are not. We are not separate from each other, and we are definitely not separate from the source, from the Brahman. It is one consciousness appearing as many, and that's the illusion. In your journey to your self-realization, you will start seeing things as one. Oneness everywhere. And when you are able to realize this oneness, you are more closer to the source. You are more closer to the moksha, to the liberation. Liberation from this endless cycle of birth, this endless cycle of karma, the repeated lessons, the loops. Freedom from that. To be one with the source. To be the source. How beautiful that would be. Until then, you need to keep realizing that you are not the ego, the constructed self. You are way beyond that. You don't have to put yourself in a tiny box. Imagine you are an infinite being, an eternal being. You are the universe. Who are you praying to? You are that. Soham, I am that. Tattvamasi, I am He. I am the Brahman. So, being that limitless being, you are that limitless being. You are the ruler of this universe. You recognize your own power, not from the lens of the ego. Then why you will put this limitless being into a tiny box and put a label on that box that I am this? Put a label that I am this job title. Put a label that I am a personality type. I have anxious attachment. I am on my healing journey. I'm a spiritual person. I am an introvert. Putting labels after labels and putting yourself in this tiny box. And that box is filled with pain, with suffering. And that cycle will continue until you break free, until you realize your true self. You are not your thoughts. You are the watcher of your thoughts. You are not your story. You are the storyteller behind the scenes. So pause right now. Close your eyes and see what kind of thoughts are going in your mind. Watch them flow. You are the watcher of these thoughts. Right now, no matter where you are able to hear my voice. Look around you, where you are. You are hearing my voice. At the same time, can you have a realization that yes, I am sitting here and I am listening to Siddharth. I am listening to this podcast. So, who are you? Are you the one who's listening to me, or are you the one who is watching itself listening to me? You're right, you are watching yourself listening to me. You are the observer, the witness, and that silent observer is the Atman. Need to keep diving deeper within you to the core of you, and inside your core to the tiniest part. It is there. Let's try to understand how the ego and soul's conflict becomes a cause of our suffering, how it creates all the suffering. The suffering arises from a fundamental misunderstanding, mistaking your ego for your true self, because your ego wants power, it wants reassurance, it wants recognition, it wants to stay relevant, it wants attention, it wants protection. Whereas your soul, it just wants peace, it wants truth, it wants freedom. Then when these two collides, it creates suffering. And this conflict leads you to choose safety over the truth. A lot of times we stay attached to people because we are afraid. We don't know who will we be if we leave that person. Why? Because we are too afraid. We just want to feel safe. And who is this we? It's your ego. Ego wants to feel safe. It chooses comfort, familiarity over authenticity. And this is the major reason why relationships suffer. Why people are unable to achieve their dreams. And why there is so much of inner conflict that there is no inner peace. Bhagavad Gita beautifully explains the one who is unaffected by the pleasure or pain, heat or cold, praise or blame. If you are able to detach yourself, what is detachment? Detachment is exactly this, that you detach yourself from these false identities. And if you are able to do that, as per Bhagavad Gita, it says beautifully The one who is unaffected by pleasure or pain, heat or cold, praise or blame, attains immortality. Every suffering in your life is because of ego trying to defend itself against a truth it fears. So ask yourself, sit with this question: what truth your ego is trying to protect? What are you really afraid of? It's time to get real. There is no point of listening to endless podcasts, consuming so much of content, and then reading all these books until you are able to sit with yourself, until you are ready to face yourself. Be real. They are all useless. So ask yourself, what is my ego trying to protect? How to recognize ego or soul's voice in real life? Let's try to understand that. Ego's voice would be reactive, urgent, fearful, and defensive. Soul's voice would be reflective. It will be calm. It will not be as loud as the thoughts in your head. That's all ego. It will be a gentle whisper. It will slowly tell you to trust. And oftentimes we don't listen to it. So ego's voice will have certain kind of certainty, an assurance, an invitation for you to take a leap of faith, trust, let go. Take a deep breath. I think you can feel it right now. A sense of trust. It is unexplainable, but right now if you can take a deep breath, you'll feel it. You know that all your problems, all your pain will be gone one day. You just need to trust it a bit, a little bit more. So ego will always ask for safety. It will ask for reassurance. It will always be competitive, always comparing. What will I get? What if they judge me? I am put anything after I am. If you are putting anything there, of course it is your ego. That is false identity. And of course, in a practical life, we would have these identities. We will have to play these roles. So the idea is not to shed your ego or become egoless, which is impossible. And if somebody says they don't have ego, of course, then that's ego talking. That itself is an ego. But to remember that you are not that, even if you have to play these roles of a son or a daughter, a partner, a father or a mother or anything. All these are roles. Your job title, your name, your community, all of these are nothing but roles. And it is a play. You can play these roles with a sense of detachment, and you remain unaffected. And you feel this unconditional love. So when you listen to your soul, you will stop associating your sense of self with people, with their reactions, with your success, your failures. You will be unaffected. So These souls' decisions might be uncomfortable, but they are true. They are an invitation for you to take a leap of faith. Think of a decision that might feel scary right now. So, of course, these fearful thoughts must be really loud, but there will be a gentle whisper. And if you take that chance, you'll see that they always feel true. Now, how you can choose soul when you are making these decisions? So, Advaita Vedanta teaches us about witness consciousness or sakshi bhav. When you are being sakshi or witness, then you are again detaching yourself from that role. You are not taking impulse or emotional decisions, and you are able to observe your emotions without being consumed by it. To choose soul when you are making the decisions, not ego, the best practical tip I can give you is to practice mindfulness. When you are being mindful, you'll see that you are in that very second, in that very microsecond when you have to take that decision, you will have a pause, a tiny pause. You just need to take one breath. Take one deep breath. And in that breath, just ask yourself, is it my ego or my soul? In that microsecond, in that deep breath, you can change a lot of outcomes. A lot of times we suffer, we argue because we are being reactive, we react a lot. So if you are able to be in that moment, you will not react, you will respond. So take a breath. Ask yourself, is it my ego or my soul? Just take a moment for yourself before you can respond. And then you respond in a nicer way, not an emotional response, not a reaction. Otherwise, if you react, you are giving way too much power to other people. They can press a button and they can get a reaction out of us. This control need to have with your own self, not with other people. If you have given that control to other people, it is because of your attachments. Now, talking about attachments, if you want to detach and if you want to learn the methods where you can truly detach from a person or a situation or from your own self, the Unhooked is starting on August 17. The next batch of Unhooked is starting on August 17. So make sure that you are joining that. It is a 6-week program. It is a group training. Then in this training, I will be teaching you how to get unhooked. I'll teach you the sacred art of detachment with practical steps. So few batches are already in progress. Few batches have completed. So the next batch is coming out. The last batch I did was only for people in India, but this batch is going to be global, right? Especially for the people in North America. Make sure that you reach out to me or comment the word or send me a DM with the word unhooked and I will send you the details. So you don't conquer ego by fighting it. You transcend ego by witnessing it. It loses its power when you are going in a witness state. Now is the time to take the questions from our audience. In case you want to ask me a question, make sure that you are following me on Instagram and joining my broadcast channel, the Detachment Circle. I only take questions from there. It is a nice little community we have of like-minded people. So, the first question is, how do we recognize if a decision is from soul or ego? That's a great question. Soul's decisions feels aligned and expansive even if it looks uncertain or difficult. Ego's decision will feel anxious, controlling, or urgent, as if you are being forced to take this decision because you just need safety. If after making a decision, if you feel a lot of regrets, then it was taken by ego, not soul. There will be a slight guilt in choosing your soul based decision instantly, but as you will see the fruits of that decision, then you will see that, hey, it all made sense. It's good that you trusted, good that you took that leap of faith. How to destroy ego? That's our second question. Great question. You do not destroy it. Remember what I said? The goal is not to be egoless. Because in order to survive in this world, you have to play those roles. Remember to not get attached to those roles. You can gently transcend your ego. You choose not to operate from ego. That's in your control, that's in your hand. You can tell this ego, these false identities, that you are not that. You are not meant to be living in a tiny box. You can operate as your true self. And of course, mindfulness and meditation will definitely help you get closer to it. It builds that practice. And of course, learn, read. Don't just watch reels, try to read books. You'll get in depth, full knowledge as it was originally. Moving on to our next question, how do we know intuition or ego? That's a great question. See, intuition feels very peaceful, calm, quiet, and certain. Ego will always be urgent, it will always be demanding, it will always be controlling. Anxiety and intuition kind of mirror each other. Anxiety tries to take this mask, try to mask itself as an intuition. But again, remember how it makes you feel. Soul's decision or intuition will be quiet. It will be a whisper, a sense of certainty, but you will not be able to hear it until you are doing some inner work. So that's why mindfulness and meditation will help you at least get these voices or get these thoughts, the loud thoughts of ego, silence a bit so that you can hear it. That's where meditation helps, that's where mindfulness helps. Next question is about difference between anger and ego. Anger is an emotion, of course, and anger can come from a deep place for self-respect as well. It is an emotion. And ego-driven anger will come from pride or entitlement or as a defensive nature. So sometimes anger is fine if it is coming from self-respect. Anger is not a bad emotion. No emotion is good or bad, positive, negative. Emotions are emotions. They are energy. They can come for good reasons. They teach you a lot of things. So yeah, If it is your anger is coming from a genuine place of self-respect, honor it. Do not operate from your anger. Again, anger is not bad, but the things we do when we let it take over us. So in that second, when the anger is building, pause. Pausing will help. And if it is coming from pride, entitlement, you don't know who I am, that's ego. Moving on to our next question, how to deal with other people's ego. Of course, in our day-to-day life, we see the egos of other people because everybody is operating from it. Everybody thinks they know who they are, but they don't know it. How do we deal with other people's ego? See, first of all, do not try to change them. Your job is not to awaken people. Your job is not to tell them that they have ego. Your job is not to tell them that, oh, you need to detach. You cannot associate your sense of self-worth with your job, and that's not your job. So don't try to change them, but model their energy. Of course, set boundaries with them and stay detached. Right? Staying detached will help you a lot. And set clear boundaries. That's the way to deal with other people's ego. Next question is about how do we make our soul happy? Great question. How do we make our soul happy? Remember what I told you. What is the true nature of your Atman? It is existence, consciousness, bliss. Sat, Chit, Anand. You cannot make it happy because it is happiness itself. It is a state of blissfulness. So you don't have to do anything to make it happy. You are that happiness. Embody it. The more you are dropping these false identities and ego, the closer you are to your soul through this blissful state. And how do you reach that? You, of course, learn, you meditate, you align with your soul through silence, through stillness, through your truthful living. Let's move on to our next question. I have clubbed these questions because some of them were repetitive. The next question, ego versus awareness. How to know in love? Ego will cling on to memories or pain. Ego will cling on to a fixed identity, which we think that they are supposed to be like this with them. There is a sense of possession. That's all ego. That's not love. That's a lot of attachment. It needs constant reassurance that there is insecurity, there are trust issues. There is no love. It is all the illusion of love. That's all attachment. That's all insecurity. That's all ego, false identity, false love. Awareness simply observes without attachment. It knows who it is. So in relationship, people say unconditional love does not exist. It does. Have that courage to take that leap of faith. It does. Soul aligned love exists. Unconditional love exists. Without attachment, without insecurity, with a lot of freedom, where two people are able to be their own individuals, their own identities. And that is the purest love, because there is freedom. And that's awareness, that's soul love. If you want to experience that love, I would want to tell you about my one on one premium coaching program, the Karmic Cleanse. I have talked about it before. In the Karmic Cleanse, it is only for women. Women who have been overgiving, women who have been operating from ego, women who are tired of repeated loops. In the Karmic Cleanse, we break free. We dissolve these loops by learning and integrating and embody the lessons, by operating from soul, by realizing your true self, by shedding every part of that false identities. We do that in Karmic Cleanse. It is a 12-week private, one-on-one, deep coaching. It is a deep work, not for everybody. But if you're interested, then DM me the word karma. I only take very selected people there. But if you have that commitment, if you really want to break free, then I'll guide you. I'm here. I'll walk with you in this journey. DM me the word karma. And here we dissolve all your past loops. We integrate this true self. And then you attract this healthy love. The kind of love I was talking about. It is there for you. It is waiting for you to work on yourself, to dissolve these loops. DM me the word karma. I think that would be all the questions we'll be taking this week. Now it is time to close this session. I love talking to you, and especially on these matters. But for now, that would be all for today. Remember, ego and soul are not enemy. Ego is simply a construct, a false identity which you mistake for your true self. Your soul, your Atman, is your eternal truth, pure, undisturbed, and forever free. And also remember, every moment gives you a choice. Will you feed the ego or follow the soul? Will you take that leap of faith? Will you trust the grand plans of this universe? Will you align yourself with your true being? Will you experience the true nature, Sat Chit Anand, existence, consciousness, and bliss? This pure existence, pure awareness, pure consciousness. I hope today's episode has given you some clarity, some peace, and also some courage. So make sure that you tell me how did you like it. Comment below and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Until next time, stay aware, stay free, and stay true to yourself. This is the Detachment Circle, and I am Siddharth, your guide in this journey to self-realization. Goodbye.